starting with Canadian roots there, just kind of where you grew up and just how was life growing up there.
I mean, it was great growing up in Windsor. I mean, I had a lot of opportunity to play under a great coach, especially when it came to high school. And the guys I played with were really big on our success. I think coming together as a team and being as close as we were was something that was really a key to our success in high school. So coming out of Windsor, I'm really proud to come out of there. It's a great area. I love it there.
You've already been asked this a ton, but do you have a kindred spirit in Jamal? You feel that way? Is there something to it, like you like recognize Canada recognizes Canada?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like Canada definitely recognizes Canada, and I'm just really proud to watch him do really well this past summer, and I'm excited to play with him. He's a great player, and I'm excited to get on the floor with him.
Is this, do you think, kind of unique, the way Kentucky's set up with Scal and Isaac and you and Jamal, and then Ty Wynyard, maybe coming in December from New Zealand?
Yeah, I think it's really cool seeing the international players all come together on one floor and see it's like not only what every state and city has to offer, it's like what other countries have to offer to basketball. And I think that's really cool to see on an NCAA level. I think that's pretty interesting. You get a little glimpse of it in the NBA these days, but not so much in the NCAA. So I think that's really interesting to watch.
What was your first memory of Kentucky basketball? Did your dad introduce you? Did you watch a game? I mean, Isaac said he saw All Access on YouTube. Just what was your introduction?
I think it was just early watching the tournament. Like as long as I can remember, I've loved watching March Madness. And of course Kentucky was always around, and they always did really well in the tournament, and they're always just a strong team, and that's just something I remember from being little, like knowing that Kentucky was one of the stronger teams in the country. So I think that was probably one of my earliest memories.
So when you heard they were playing in Windsor?
Of course, yeah. My dad was like, when my dad told me that, he didn't have to ask me if I was going. He pretty much told me to get dressed. So I remember they playing in Windsor. That would have been almost 6 years ago now. That's back when they had Brandon Knight, and that's who my dad was really excited to watch, is Brandon Knight. And that was.
Who were you excited to watch?
I was excited to watch everybody.
Yeah.
Like you don't get to see basketball at that level all the time. So that was a really exciting experience for both me and my father. So it was great to share that with him, and I remember that definitely.
You would have been how old? What grade?
6 years ago, I would have been. I'm 21 now, so I would have been about 15.
15.
So that would have been about grade 9.
Is it one of those standout moments that you always remember with
Yeah,
your dad?
like I have. I know that I have a picture from like my first iPhone ever, and it's like a zoomed in, terrible picture of Kentucky all grouped together on Windsor's floor. But even back then, I'm not sure if I expected it to come to this level. Like I always wanted to play on this level, and I always like aspired for that. But I don't know if I had that expectation back then, So that's something I do remember absolutely.
What was your plan when you got to junior college? Did you always know that it was beyond that the next plan was this, or?
I always knew that I wanted to play Division I basketball. That was my goal initially, was to play Division I basketball. And once I got to junior college, and I knew now some guys who played at a little bit higher level of Division I basketball, I kind of just wanted to play at as high a level as I could. And once it got to like my sophomore year, I just remember all of us talking about what level we thought we should play at, and I always thought it was this one. And I just tried to prove that throughout the year by creating team goals and achieving those, and that's what we did. So we all kind of landed where we felt we should.
How did they approach you? How did Kentucky approach you? How did they contact you, and how did that go?
I remember one of the coach that told me the most about recruiting. Me and Coach Franklin didn't talk so much about recruiting at the beginning as me and my assistant coach, Coach Davis, did. And so when a school would call me or whatever, call for me, he would say, "Yeah, the school called for you, blah, blah." And Coach Davis is like an avid Kentucky fan, like I've known since I've known Coach Davis.
This is the assistant on the.
Yeah. Okay. So he texted me one time in the middle of the day, like, "Yeah, UK just called." And I was like, "No," like I was like, "Don't mess with me," pretty much. And he was like, "No, for real, like come to my office." So he tells me that, and ever since then it was like I could tell he really had like he was proud of that. You know, like he was glad to see someone that he knows that could have that opportunity and play here. So I'm excited to play in front of a lot of people, but in front of him too.
I mean, you get the feeling because of the experience you've already had at the JUCO level, and then the amount of kids on this team. You're 21. Do you feel more mature? Can you tell you've got a little bit more maturity? You've got a little bit more.
I mean,
it's not so new to you.
It's not so new to me. You know, the college experience I think is one of the things that stands out the most. Is that not so new to me. As a basketball player, a lot of these younger guys are pretty mature. You know, it's surprising like how mature these guys are at this age. But yeah, it's not a brand new thing to me to be at the college experience and to be playing around great players. So I just think it's a really exciting experience to be playing around these guys, and I'm excited to see what we come together and do.
How are you going to fit in? You think with you got Tyler and Isaiah and Jamal. How do you fit in so many guards on this team?
I mean, we got a lot of great guards, and I think the best thing about us all is that we all kind of do our own thing. And we all specialize in something different. Like none of us are exactly like the other. So I think that's something that's positive for everybody, and we all have something to bring to the table. So I think that's going to be a good thing for the team.
3-point shooting, like how many are you used to taking?
In my JUCO, I didn't like take all the shots. Like a lot of people would think I took all the shots because of like my stats or whatever. But I definitely did not take all the shots. We shared the ball really well, and I think that was a key thing to our success. So I'm not really worried about how many shots I get here. I just know that if I do my job and everybody around me does their job, it's going to be a great thing. So,
do you feel like you already kind of know Cal's philosophy and that it's already here? Like so many guys already kind of know.
I mean, I feel like it shows through the guys that have played here already. Some of the returners, they kind of they preach that and they show what's expected. But I'm really excited for Cal to get started coaching us and really turn up the heat a little bit. So I think that's going to be really great.
What's surprising about you or your game? Like we know you can shoot it, so we've heard. Heard a little bit that you can take guys off the dribble. That might be surprising. What's surprising about you that maybe we haven't heard yet?
I think the thing that might surprise people more than anything is there's always like that stereotype around JUCO guys. We're kind of like lazy or something's up. Something's a reason that we're in JUCO, and I think it's going to surprise people that that's not necessarily the case with me at all. Like I'm gonna work as hard as I can for my team and for the coaches and for the fans, and I think they're going to see that. So I think that's going to be something that's great.
What's your impression of the talent level and the personalities on this group?
I feel like the talent level is out of this world. Like these guys are great. Some of the best players I've ever played with, and personality-wise, it's the exact same. Like I love all these guys. We haven't been together for like the longest time, but I can already tell like there's a great bond when it comes to basketball and even off the court. So I'm really excited to really get started with them.
Last thing. What's the tattoo you got? What do you got on?
I got motivation and dedication.
Quickly describe those.
I mean, I'm motivated by my family and stuff like that, and by my mom and dad, and I'm dedicated to the game. So